Major psychological perspectives. Unlike physical objects and animals, human beings are self-conscious and can, therefore, subject themselves to their own study. This capacity to reflect about oneself makes the study of human behavior and related processes quite complex. The complexity of studying human behavior is further increased due to multiple causes involved in it. For example, let us see the case of someone who complains that a colleague of his/her is not working or performing up to the mark. This behavior can occur due to many factors independently or jointly. It may be due to lack of ability or lack of motivation or lack of supportive climate at the work place or some problem at home. Any one of these factors or their combination may result in poor performance. This is true for most of the behavioral phenomena. Thus, we find that while psychologists do use scientific methods, they cannot operate like physical or natural scientists. They have to take into account a large number of factors while studying behavior. They share the characteristics of physical as well as social sciences. However, the psychological predictions are complex and have certain limitations. Because the subject under study is human mind, which itself is influenced by various factors, their accuracy is limited by the stimuli used, type of tools used, environmental conditions, and by the nature of psychological processes under study. The dynamic nature of psychological processes make generalizations difficult. Such generalizations are probabilistic in nature. In other words, they indicate that under the given conditions the chance is that so and so event may take place. While studying human behavior, we need to remember the following. Changes are observed in individuals due to maturation, learning, and aging. 2. Human behavior at any moment is a joint function of the personal characteristics and the properties of environment. 3. The measurement of psychological attributes, example personality, intelligence, interest, attitude, is usually indirect and based on inferences. 4. Many aspects of social behavior are role-governed and culture-specific. Human behavior is usually determined by multiple causes. The analysis and understanding of psychological phenomena essentially implies some model of human being. These models are rooted in certain cultural and philosophical assumptions. This is one important reason why there exist many approaches or perspectives to understand human behavior. Let us study more about these perspectives below. Biological perspective. It considers human beings as nothing but a biological structure. Treating behavior in purely physical terms, it looks at the internal physiological structures, example brain, nervous system. Subscribing to a materialistic view, it asserts that all behavior has a physiological basis. In this view, the working of nervous system and the role of genetic factors in shaping behavior become major concerns. It is held that all social and psychological processes are derived from biological processes. This view prefers analysis of complex phenomenon in terms of smaller units. It has revealed the mysteries of brain functioning. The studies on effects of drugs on behavior, consequences of electrical stimulation of various parts of brain, influence of meditation and altered states of consciousness have shown interesting results. Behavioral perspective. This perspective stresses on the role of environmental stimuli in determining the way people act. It argues that what we are is largely the result of past learning. Accordingly, the overt or observable behavior becomes the subject matter of psychology. This approach does not give importance to consciousness and subjective mental states. In this tradition, observable behavior and its relationship with environmental conditions is the main focus of study. Its proponent W. J. Watson and exponent B. F. Skinner believed in the objective study of behavior. Behaviorism has many variants, but all share common interest in learning and use explanations based on observable events. Psychodynamic perspective. We are often unaware of the true reasons for our actions. Sigmund Freud, the founder of psychoanalysis, is closely associated with this view. Focusing on motivational questions about behavior, this perspective examines the role of internal processes. It believes that each behavior has a cause and that cause is to be found in the mind. It is held that much of our behavior is governed by the unconscious processes that lie outside the range of our awareness. This view uses the observations of people suffering from mental disorders and considers early childhood experiences as determinants of adult behavior. According to this view, human being is driven primarily by sexual and aggressive instincts. The neo-Freudians like Horney, Erikson, and Erich Fromm have developed psychoanalysis in various forms. Similarly, Jung and Adler developed different traditions. Cognitive perspective. The main focus of this view is on how people know, understand, and think about the world. Much of our behavior involves mental or cognitive processes such as perceiving, remembering, and thinking. They are as important as environmental stimuli in understanding our behavior. They mediate between environmental stimuli and organisms' responses. They function in organized and systematic way. As active organisms, we process information and act upon it. Our cognitions determine the course of our behavior. We observe the environment and respond on the basis of its interpretation. Our thoughts are both causes as well as results of our overt actions. This perspective has links with the emerging fields of cognitive science and artificial intelligence. Humanistic perspective, often termed as a third force, this perspective views humans as basically good and responsible beings. It is also held that one's behavior is not simply determined by either past experiences or the current circumstances. People can make choices. The emphasis is on free will. The subjective experiences and interpretations of the people are important in determining the course of their actions. The theories must be useful not only for understanding people but also for understanding one's own life. In this perspective, self-actualization and spirituality play an important role. It tries to see the pattern in life histories of the people. It emphasizes the phenomenal or experiential world of the people. Abraham Maslow and Rogers were the chief proponents of this view. Indian perspective. The Indian thought system has discussed the problem of human life from a broader perspective. A human being is embedded in relationship with environment and divinity, and harmony of mind, body, and soul is emphasized. People are attracted to objects of desire unmindfully, and that creates problems. People are ignorant of their true nature. The difficulties in life are because we are not aware of the potentialities and misidentify with physical objects. The remedy is proposed in terms of various forms of yoga like bhakti, dhan, karma, and raj yoga. In addition, there have been many other developments in all these systems and other traditions.